Journal Entry 1, November 1st, 1996. Okay, so my wife got me this journal that she found at a thrift store. She thought that I could maybe write in it to maybe help track my emotions and stuff. I don't really believe it's going to do anything, but I'll do it anyway, at least to please her. So here goes. I had a weird dream last night. It was the first one I've had in years. They say that you're always dreaming during sleep, but I simply can't imagine that to be true. All I see when I shut my eyes is darkness, and the darkness does not recede, but stubbornly stays till my sleep is over. I see no pictures, I hear no sounds, I feel no sensations, and I smell no odours. Last night, however, was different. In my dream, I was in a cabin, sitting in an old leather chair, reading a book. I couldn't make out the words for they were incomprehensible. The cabin was musty and old, yet so comfortable and somewhat familiar. It had this eeriness surrounding it. It was unsettling. The more I sat in that cabin, the more unsettled I became. It felt like hours before I heard a knock at the door. Suddenly, I was out of my chair and slowly walking towards the door. I extended my arm and reached for the doorknob, slowly opening it. Two little boys, covered in mud, stood before me. Then, the dream ended. I can't imagine what this means or if it means anything at all. I wonder what a dream specialist would make of this. Would they call me crazy or predict some massive event in my future? Who knows? Anyway, enough about my crazy dreams. Sarah has been doing really well in school for the past couple of months. She has plenty of friends and loves it. This really makes me happy. Today, she sprinted into the kitchen with the biggest grin on her face. She had gotten an A on a history test. She literally does this for every single A she gets, and she gets a lot of A's. It never gets old though, to see her smile. I love seeing her happy, and that will never change. Work is going well. I might actually get a promotion in the next few weeks. That means a bigger pay raise and exclusive benefits. I could finally take my family on a vacation perhaps. Wouldn't that be incredible? My trip to Peru 4 years ago was unbelievable. Maybe one day I can take them there. My mother called today. Yay! That was sarcasm if it didn't come across. She wanted to know, how are you doing? How's Sarah and Emily? I know she couldn't care less about Sarah or Emily. She just wants us to visit her small house in Chicago. I would literally do anything else than see her again. Anyway, I'm going to stop writing now. Partly because my hand is starting to hurt, but mostly because I'm getting tired and I should get back to bed before Emily gets worried. Journal Entry 2, November 5th, 1996. I had that dream again, the one about the cabin and the two boys. It was exactly the same as the last one. It was almost freaky. This time, however, the dream continued. The two boys covered in mud spoke to me. What they were saying was incomprehensible. It was almost as if it was another language. Russian perhaps? I couldn't tell. It sounded vaguely Russian though. The boys, who couldn't have been older than 10, pointed to the ocean behind them and started running towards it. I followed. I didn't want to follow them, but for some reason my legs just moved. We ran for only a few minutes before we came upon the shore of the ocean. The two boys muttered something and then pointed to the ground. What lay there was disgusting. It was a man. Well, I think it was. All colour was gone from his face and body. He definitely had died by drowning. A wave of nausea suddenly came over me, and I felt like throwing up. I heaved over, puking all over myself. I suddenly awoke. There was vomit all over my bed. Fortunately, Emily was gone. I jolted out of the bed, tearing the sheets from their mattress and dragging them to the washer. I began to cry. Tears just ran down my face. It was unstoppable. I knew it was a dream, but it felt so real. So real. The rest of the day was pretty normal, although one strange thing did happen. Sarah came home, but she didn't have a smile or an A to present. There were visible tears running down her face. Her eyes were puffy and red. I rushed over to her and hugged her, asking what was wrong. She didn't answer. She just dropped her bag on the floor and pulled out a note. It read, "Stinking Jew." Anger rushed through my body. I immediately said through clenched teeth, "Who wrote this? Tell me!" She paused with a sigh, and then whimpered, "I don't know." I waited for Emily to get home from work, and then I showed her the note. She had a similar reaction as me, but more restrained. That night, we called the school. The principal said he would handle it. I knew he wouldn't. I knew they would do nothing to stop this. They didn't care enough. They had bigger fish to fry. Journal Entry 3, November 17th, 1996. Sarah is depressed. She has no friends anymore, and her grades have been plummeting. I never see her smile anymore. She comes home every day weeping. I no longer know what to say to her. I just hug her and tell her everything is gonna be okay. I know she doesn't believe me. She's right. Everything isn't going to be okay. Journal Entry 4, November 22nd, 1996. I had that goddamn dream again. The one with the cabin and the two boys and the drowned man. I don't know why I keep having this dream. What's wrong with me? What kind of sick, demented person has this kind of dream? Anyway, the dream began the same as the last two. Everything was about the same. The cabin, the boys, even the smells. It was uncanny. Just like the last time, the dream went on. I lifted the drowned man and sluggishly dragged him back to the cabin. I had no idea why I was doing that. I had no control. Myself in the dream had no intention of doing what I wanted it to do. It took forever to drag the drowned man back to the cabin. When I got back, I dropped him on the ground as if he was a bag. I hurried inside and took off all my clothes. I then slowly walked to the old musty bed in the center of the cabin and pulled myself under the covers. Journal Entry 5, November 30th, 1996. I haven't slept in days since Sarah's suicide. It's not like I don't want to go on, but I can't. I can't bring myself to dream about the drowned man, or even worse, dream about Sarah. Emily left me today. She didn't say why or anything. She just packed a bag and rushed out the door. I cried as I listened to the starting of her car and the sound of her driving away. I am alone now. I am completely alone. Journal Entry 6, December 10th, 1996. I had the dream again. I didn't want to have it, but I couldn't keep myself from dreaming. I think I finally understand it now, why I've been having this dream all along. There was a purpose to it. There was a purpose to my suffering. The dream went along the same as before. The cabin, the two boys, and the drowned man. This time, however, as I was lying in the old musty bed, I heard a knock at the door. I wondered who it could have been. Was it the two boys? I didn't know. I slowly dragged myself out of the bed and walked, tired, to the door. I swung it open, and standing there in front of me was the drowned man. But it wasn't just the drowned man. It was me. His face was mine. He looked exactly like me. At that moment in the dream, I figured it all out. I am the drowned man. That is my destiny. All this suffering, all this pain, it's all been leading to this exact moment. This will be my last journal entry. I won't need journals where I'm going. I know what I have to do, and it will be beautiful. Journal Entry 1, November 1st, 1998. Hi Journal, my name is Harold, and this is my first journal entry. My wife thought this would help me deal with my stress, I guess. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So I guess I should start writing, right? Okay, so I had this weird dream last night.